Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you for all the work that you're doing to fight for the religious minorities that will be preserved in the region. Thank you. My name is Jacqueline, and I have had the honor and great privilege to go to Iraq 4 times after ISIS declared the so-called Islamic State. I met with the survivors who were brave and resilient. I sat with the Peshmerga army on the front lines, where I personally was 200 meters away from ISIS. And I saw little children playing, and on the left-hand side, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old women that are fighting and defending their families on an everyday basis. What is happening is an act of genocide. It has been very clear from what I've seen, from what I've heard with my own ears, that these acts are done with an intent to destroy innocent religious groups, like the Yazidis and the Christians. Today you're going to watch a video. It's of one of those resilient survivors. We met with many of the girls that were kidnapped, raped, tortured, even disfigured by ISIS. One of those girls, her name is Jacqueline. She's now like my young sister. She was 15 years old when she was taken by ISIS. And at the end of my talk today, you're going to see her speak to you. I promised all of the survivors that I would be their voice everywhere I go. And today I want to share those stories with you. I met a woman, a Christian woman, named Rita. She is a mother, like many of you. She was living in Mosul. One night she got a knock on the door. She opened the door and she found ISIS was there. Foreign fighters. And they said, "Leave now or pay the jizya." "Okay, give me a moment," she said. "Let me just go get my money. And my daughter, she's in the bathroom. Can you just give her a minute to get out of the shower and we'll leave right away. And we'll pay you the money and we'll leave." He said, "You don't even have 1 second." And they took a torch and they started from the bathroom where her daughter was showering. And they lit the bathroom on fire. And the girl had 4-degree burns. And her mother, I mean, imagine, we are mothers. We are sisters, we are daughters. Imagine seeing your loved one being burned, 4-degree burns. What would you do? What would you do? She took her daughter in her arms. She took her daughter. And she ran her to the hospital. And before the girl died, she looked at her mother and she said, "Forgive them. Forgive them." She died. Looking at that mother, looking at her eyes as she was saying this story, I knew that ISIS needed to stop immediately, that what they were doing was an act of genocide. And if we don't stop it now, it will come here to our front doors. It's a reality, as we've seen in Paris. It's a reality, as we've seen in Beirut, just in the past few months. I want to be the voice of a little boy named Nouri. Nouri's a boy that was living in Sinjar town. And when ISIS came, they took his mother and father. And they took Nouri and they disfigured him. In fact, they handicapped him from the leg. They completely disfigured his leg. 11-year-old boy. Spent some time with him and I looked in his eyes and I said, "Nouri, you are valuable." And he would look at me and say, "Until I bring my parents back, I have no value." We have the responsibility to be the guardians of a boy like Nouri, to be the guardians in our actions, to be the protectors by claiming this is a genocide, and to act, to take on our responsibility, because it must stop now. We cannot wait till tomorrow. There's not enough time. here for these brave survivors. I met a girl who had a sister that was still in captivity. And she shared with me her story of escape, which is unbelievable. The courageous girl broke out of a window in one of the ISIS fighters' homes after being raped numerous times by numerous men, and she was only 14 years old. When I looked at her and I said, "What do you want to do now with your life?" And she said, "All I want to do is save my sisters that are in captivity." Till today, there are thousands of young girls that are remaining in captivity. In fact, many of them, it's too late. It's too late for them. Last trip I took, I went to Iraq when they retook control over Sinjar town. And we found that ISIS so brutally, with such evil, had mass graves of all the girls they didn't like, who disobeyed. Piles of mass graves. Young women, young children, the elderly. And when some of the Peshmerga army who were so brave, fighting on the front lines, went to go and bury the dead, some of them were blown up because they put dynamites in the dead bodies. This is what we're talking about here. It is grave. And we need to put a stop for the sake of humanity. For the sake of humanity. I'm here to say that this is genocide, but to also say that we need to take action. These resilient survivors want to remain in the region, and because of that, we need to know what's going on in the region. In Iraq alone, in 2003, there were 1.3 million Christian minorities. Today, there's approximately about 300,000, most of which are living in Kurdistan, in that region. What is the Iraqi Kurdistan region doing now? They are drafting a brand new constitution. So the many Christians and Yazidis who are still there in the safe haven, being protected by the KRG, getting care, getting humanitarian assistance, they're asking a question. What does the future look like for the generations to come? Should we stay or should we leave? So I am so supportive of the drafters of the Iraqi constitution who are now drafting a document to say minorities, you are going to be protected. And as member states, we need to encourage the drafters to ensure that they have the Aramaic language as an official language to make Christians feel safe, that they have identity in the region, and to help all minorities that are there to know that they are protected and they can remain there for the future as they did in ancient times. Thank you. Look in your heart today and know that it's not about them. It's about all of us, and we can do it together. I hope that this video changes your lives as it did mine.